anybody hear me?
We'll get really close to
Or
mine.
does anybody want to hear me? Welcome to our 50th year, West Waterloo High School, 1971. Is it on?
You got to keep right out.
Yes, can't stand over here.
You carry it.
So I will say, my better half, twin sister, she wanted to be here so badly to see everyone. She's fine. Something else came up, but she's all good. And just found out just where I came up here that where is Rick Smith? She got a hold of Rick and texted him and said, "Hey, that'd be great. Would you video my brother?" So Brenda, where are you? So just for you, Brenda, on behalf of my twin sister, she's giving me just was going through, and here you might recognize this was the 71. Do yourself a favor, because I took some of these pictures here. I went through that, and you know what? Left a big smile on my face. So when you get home, take a look. But just up quickly here, this is probably our two best salespeople in our class. You can read up there. I think we called him Muttley. Marty McConville. Hello.
You got to speak really.
Hello.
Yeah. Nice of mine.
Two of our best salespeople right here, Muttley and McConville. And to Marty, I know he's had some challenging times. I did hear he's at home now and trying to recover, get stronger. So Marty, our prayers are with you. Here's Brenda, you're in the picture, so as you watch this is her art class. She loved art. Again, she was the better half. If you're on a twin scale of 1 to 5, Brenda was 6, and I was -1/2. So there's the difference. In the lower here, I just see Dan Lee here. No. Dan, I always love this picture. You know, it shows that he's got his notes to the left, there's a map to the right of him, but his focus is out here. But that's Dan. He was focused, and he's putting all that information together, you know, what he wanted to do. But I had to think about one thing, is they allowed me to, be on the football team, just so I could qualify. But I was doing, I think it was my junior year, and it was called the scout team. So if you're playing Marshalltown on Friday night, you're going to run the Marshalltown offense, so our defense can see it live instead of film, and how they're going to play it that way. And so I was, the tailback for Marshalltown, and all I remember is we ran a Marshalltown play, I think it was a cutback or something, and next thing I know, I got hit by Dan Lee. And I saw big purple stars. I don't think I was out long. Dan was over me saying, "You all right?" I said, "I'm okay, Dan." But then I became focused, because I always wanted to know where Dan Lee was. I was going to run the other way. So always remember that. Great guy. Great wrestler too. And this picture in the lower right-hand corner, our Forey Smith. This is one of the movies he was in, and we're going to come back to that for you.
Secretariat.
Yes, it is. You win the prize. We'll come back to that.
He doesn't have that many movies.
Oh, here we go.
All right, give me the mic.
So here's our agenda. We're going to keep the program short because we want you to be able to spend more time talking to your classmates, and that's what it's all about. We have some recognitions we'll go through, and then some other random comparisons and thoughts. There's one general be safe kind of thing with what's going on in the environment. And the only thing I do have to give here is on the uncalled for. They were scheduled to play live tonight, which they were looking forward to. Here's a picture. This is back in 8th grade at Terry German's basement. So the far right here is Steve Bierbauer, who was vocal and bass. And then on the far left is Craig Kipp. He was lead and vocal. On the drums was Forey Smith, and our lead singer. And then the fourth guy, we still not quite certain who that was. But unfortunately, they haven't practiced or played in over 54 years, so can't do it. You know, I call it reunion moments. Just, it's me, Mike, you get this, Mike. So I thought these two were appropriate on the left, and I had a wonderful time at my class reunion. I paid my son to go with me. Okay. And then the one on the right, you know, I feel weird about, you know, attending my class reunion. There are 40 pounds of me that never went to that school. So, yes, so the class of 1971, raise your glasses and cheers to all because y'all look fantastic. There are no moments out in this audience. Lori, my wife, my beautiful wife over here, she is the better half. She runs the family, and once you learn that, guys, it goes so smooth. We enjoy wine once in a while, and just so the idea here on the far left with the one big glass, you may have seen that, you might have one. We have a glass, and we probably pulled this on Corey, but he'd drink it all. It actually holds a full bottle. And we'd have some friends come over and say, hey, would you like to have a glass of wine? No, come on, one glass? Okay, red, you know, white, rosé, one glass. Yeah, no problem. So I would go and load up the full glass, bring it back, so there you go, there's your one glass. We washed out both, certain they were safe before that. What we really want to do is recognize the people behind the scenes who make this happen. We've had a terrific class. We've had consistency with reunions and get-togethers, and you know, the location was fantastic. So we'd like to recognize Deb, Dana, Messina. Deb, would you please stand up? Deb is the chair for our 50th high school reunion. And thank you, Deb, for all the efforts, the work, and everything you have to do, and for putting up with George Cooper. George, just kidding. We have our leadership committee, and I'd like to recognize these people because they do put in a lot of time, effort, and work. We have Deb, Iris, and Benedict. Deb, can you stand up? George Cooley. George, where are you? Stand up, George. Is John Baggins-Stoss here?
Yep.
Larry Martin. Craig Monthly Jensen. Craig, I don't have it in that. And Bill Klein. And then our computer guru who keeps me in focus, Rick Smith. Sorry, that's someone with non-technical skills trying to piece in pictures from when they were a bit younger. Love them all. But seriously, thank you to all for your outstanding efforts, plans, communications, and execution. Another round of applause. We call him the computer guru. Rick does a great job. This is our West Waterloo site. And if you've not been out there, go check it out. He does a great job with that. There's his email. And I think, Rick, if you have changed a cell phone, land phone, your address, or an email, get that changed or changes to Rick. Maybe tonight might be difficult, but here's his email. If you could jot that down or we can send it out, because he does a great job to keep everybody up to date. And we just want to know, where you're at and how easier to get a hold of you so we can get everybody together. We have a special 50-year recognition. We want to honor this young man. This young man, he doesn't like the limelight. He doesn't want all the good words you want to say.
Go, George!
Yeah. But he's been behind our legacy for 50 years, and we chose to we wanted to recognize him because he's done a terrific, tremendous job. So, George, you want me to bring the plaque to you? Or would you like to?
Come on, George! Come on, George! Come on, big guy!
Go.
Brad, you went downstairs. Really bailed as soon as you started talking.
But you said Austin
$100 by now.
You said
Give it to Mark.
I knew that was going to happen.
Anyway, let's George Cooley. I love him. We also have another recognition tonight. We have our Athletic Hall of Fame, and we have a young man in the audience. The picture I like the most is in the upper right-hand corner. But Dave Narvison, where are you, Dave?
You can't see it.
So on behalf of Dave, do you want me to read this?
Yes.
Waterloo West High School Athletic Hall of Fame inducted 2021. Dave Narvison, class of 1971. He was a state medalist champion in 1971. That means he had the lowest score, which helped him win the state title. Member of the 1991 state team champion, boys golf. And that team was Dave Narvison, Scott Olson, Rod Olson, Steve Kaler, and Coach Don Narvison. So on behalf of see that Dave built his own resume because not only was the state medalist there and helped West Waterloo win a state title, he went on to some small school called University of Texas. Two of his teammates were these names of Crenshaw and Kite. I think they're all both Hall of Fame. They won many titles, PGA titles, they won major championships. That's Twin State titles, so continued on. Well done. And even in our Waterloo Open, which is great, Dave was not only the amateur champ, but also the senior champ. So he won both titles. So again, congratulations. We'd like to also recognize West Waterloo High School Hall of Fame coach, Mr. Narvison, as I called him, Don Narvison, Dave's dad. And just to look, he was a legend, tournament golf, 1978 National Coach of the Year. Now that's not just Waterloo.
Here comes George. Here comes George.
Oh, good. We'd like to welcome George Cooley. George, we left you a plaque.
Kidder's got it.
There's no money in it, but we could work something out later. Yeah. George Cooley, another round of applause. 50 years of leadership. So Don Narvison was the national coach here. That was the entire of the U.S., so that was quite an honor in 1978. He also coached Waterloo West to 9 state titles. He had over 300 dual meet victories, 94% winning average, and he was inducted into the Iowa PGA Golf Hall of Fame in '91, the Waterloo Golf Hall of Fame in '96, and the Iowa High School Golf Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2003. And on top of that, he was just named the State of Iowa Biology Teacher of the Year in 1970. So, David, to your dad. have additional Hall of Fame coaches, and there are requirements to be or reach this award, same as our athletes. But Robert Siddons, 27 years at West Waterloo, a legend of wrestling. I don't know how to say it. Probably most knew him as Bob, but you can see here he won winningest coach in history at West High School. Won 11 state team championships, won 92% of his dual meets. Coached 14 undefeated teams, coached 21 top 3 teams, coached 51 individual state champions. Named first coach of the year in 1970, National High School Coach of the Year in 77. So West Waterloo High School in 77 had a National Coach of the Year in wrestling in Bob Siddons. In the following year in 78 had Don Narvison. So I don't know how many high schools had 2 National Coaches of the Year, in their time. So again, another neat fact, character about our class. He coached 51 individual state champions. Named the first Iowa Coach of the Year, 1970, National High School Coach, 77. He's been inducted in the Helms Hall of Fame, 69, the Iowa High School Wrestling Hall of Fame, 75, the Iowa Wrestling Hall of Fame, 77, and the National Federation Hall of Fame in 1980. Just truly a legend, incredible. We talked about the other legend in golf, Don Narvison, and then we had Bill Lane. For 30 years, made the state playoffs, 26 out of 30 years, coached 1 team state championship, coached 3 individual state champions, coached 1 individual state runner-up, and coached 1 doubles state champion. And we had Steve Larson, head baseball coach, winningest coach in West High School history, finished with a career record 347 and 127. Coached 7 teams for the spring state tournament, coached 4 teams that finished state runner-ups, a member of the Iowa Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame, a member of the National Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame, coached 8 first-team All-State members. So a round of applause for all of them. There was, and I was not here, thinking of Dan Lee. There was a prep parade in the Des Moines Register. Does anyone remember that? Chuck Purdy. I think he would write, I don't know, weekly or what it was. Dan had seen that where it was basically regarding West Waterloo High School, the strength of our women's and boys athletic programs. And it was quite an article. I think Dan tried to look for it. Our Wikipedia, is that how you say it? Bill Klein could not find it because he's got every bit of information. You need some information, call Bill Klein. You'll get it. And I tried to find what I could do. So we put this slide together trying to recognize the strength of our athletic program. But in football, in the fall of 68-70, 21-5 won in record. 3 of those losses were to our arch rival East Waterloo. We had an 8-1 record in our senior year, and if I remember right, Sloan Wallace, I know they're, I think, tearing that down now. I'm going to say there were 10,000 to 12,000 people at the game, and then Channel 7 KWWL actually broadcast that locally. That's how, because East went in number 1 in the state, West was 3rd. So, but you can see the rankings. 1968 ranked 5th. Ranked 6th and then finished ranked 3rd, so a strong program in the football program. West Waterloo Wrestling talked about, goes on, I think the highlight there is the 88 straight dual wins. Think of any school, any sport winning 88 straight dual wins. It's incredible. You can see all the other things that I said, that's a legend there. I'm not going to read all that, but he was quite a man. West Waterloo Track and Field, we had strong representation, both girls and boys. We had an individual boys state title, 1970, 4x100. There's a few of those young men here in the room tonight. West Waterloo Cross Country, again, another strong program. Swimming, just a name that came by, I was looking at was Glenn Amundsen. I know he's swimming up in the sky right now with us, but he was excellent person of that team. The tennis, again, good representation. We had a 1969 state champs men's doubles. So this, if you just take a look at the overall performance of the program to win this, and that to win that, We not only had to have the great coaches, we had to have great athletes. There's a lot of the great athletes in here that helped us do that. I also want to recognize that this doesn't happen quite often. I don't know, is David Baker and Bruce Sager here? So I don't know how many classes can sit there and say they had 2 Supreme Court justices. So let's give a round of applause. Again, something special about our class. All right, just at this moment, he said he could take first 45 minutes. Does anybody like to come up? Say anything at West or anything? No? Corey?
Not good.
You're good. Okay, let me just say this then. So Dan Lee knocked me out in football. My buddy Steve Bierbauer, he had some boxing gloves at his house, and somehow we put the gloves on. Well, one thing you notice is, my arm comes out to here. Bierbauer was up that much further, so it wasn't the brightest thing in my behalf, and I don't know anything about boxing. And all I remember is I threw a right cross, and then I saw this glove coming, and that's, I don't know, I'm out for 5 minutes or something. So 2 guys knocked me out, Dan Lee and Steve Bierbauer. So there you go. Some random comparisons. This again unique. It's our class. The calendar years of 1971 and 2021 are exactly the same. They both started on Friday, and so you just don't have that happen. So again, I think it's symbolic ties to our class. So you look at 71, okay, yeah, $1, worth a little more. Movies, I think I saw, now these are just some of the movies, but all great movies. And then, like everything from COVID back to March of 2020, sort of shut down. So the movies are coming back. 40's got, I think, 10 lined up by the end of the year. But the F9, Fast and Furious, it's a whole series. Maybe you followed the whole series, but that alone, they've grossed over $6 billion. And then I think this F9, in the first 3 days, it grossed over $300 million. So, I think they're doing fine. But it's a lot of great movies coming out. I remember Top Gun, but this is Top Gun 2 Maverick. No Time to Die, 007 fans I think just came out this month. Ghostbusters Afterlife, there you go. Godzilla versus Kong, that'll probably be out every year. And Black Widow. You look at a $50,000 home, yeah, worth a little more money today. The good news here is a 30-year fixed mortgage back in 71 was around 7%. Now you look where you can get that. So I told my kids, I said we bought a home in Coralville, Iowa in 1983, and the 30-year fixed rate was 14%. So they look at me like, gee, Dad, did you go to college? So now I'm getting back to that picture of Ford. And it's a great movie. And I'm not a big horse fan, but it's this story of Secretariat. That's the name of the movie. It's about this horse. And it was because they call it Big Red. And it's hard to win a Triple Crown, but you can see the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes. And they're all different lengths. You can have different tracks depending on the weather, if it's mud or not, and it's just tough to win 3 of those. And you look at this horse, and that picture, 31 lengths is what that won by. And if you actually saw it sideways, he's coming across the finish line and you don't see anyone. That's how much he dominated. And then he still has the 3 fastest times today. That was 1973. So that's almost 50 years, and still holds the records in all 3. So I said to Lori, I said, let's go see this movie. And we're watching this movie, and I'm, oh my God, that's Forey Smith. And I think I said it about that loud. And the whole people, sorry. So we stayed in the movie and watched the credits. And then the line was, obnoxious owner, Forey Smith. I I would add, drunk. And Forey, you played perfectly. Now, the picture in the far right corner, I saw some ladies' eyes were going straight to that picture. Nothing, they didn't care about anything here. It's just a week ago, Forey got an audition, and this is a week ago, and he had to take his shirt off. So Forey, you maintained yourself perfect.
Yeah, that was a week ago.
I'm not picking on Forey, I love him. So, random thoughts. There's a lot of things that are important to us, family, our kids, grandchildren, on and on. I think, one, I keep telling Lori, I don't want to end up being the grumpy old man. And some days I wake up and I find myself grumpy old man. So, to the far right corner, I say, like, dear God, today I woke up, I'm healthy, I'm alive, I'm blessed, I apologize for all my complaining, I'm truly grateful, and I'm trying to be better at that, to get that grumpy old man. But I think the one that's important, particularly this evening, is that in the lower middle, it's a porch there, and it's a great view of the valley, sun setting, and there's that empty chair. And it says, do not regret growing older, it's a privilege denied to many. So, happy that we're all here. So the only public statement is just get vaccinated. Just be safe, because we want to see all of you back here for the 75th. That's the goal. We want to see everyone here tonight back for that 75th. So, if there's two things we want you to remember tonight, besides Forey shirtless, is one, hug your loved ones, family members, grandchildren, friends, and anyone else who is important in your lives, and do it every time you see them. And don't just give it a real hug, not just a short, give a real hug and let them know how important they are to you. And then as you do that, tell them you love them every time you see them, because none of us have any calendars. So, that's it. Thank you, and thank you for coming tonight. I hope you have a great evening. Thank you, people here at the casino. The room's great. The service has been great. Is it Maddie? Thanks for everything. Just I have to stand close to the mic. You have to tell me that next time, okay? Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Brad.